the video lecture series of embedded systems. In this video, we are going to discuss about the serial communication devices and standards. We'll be discussing about UART specifically in this video. Okay. So before going into the UART, we know that there are two types of communications, right? There is serial communication and then there is parallel communication. So if you are going for a parallel communication means all the bits will be transmitted at the same time. Consider that we are going to send 1 byte or 8 bits of data. So if you are opting a parallel communication means this is the image for a parallel communication interface. So there will be a receiving side, there is a transmitting side. All the 8 bits are transferred at the same time. So that is called a parallel communication. Now going for if you are going for a parallel communication, the advantage is that the data rate or the transmission rate will be anyway higher than the serial communication because all the data or all the bits we are transmitting at the same time. But the complexity of the circuit will be also more. Okay. Now, if you are going for a serial communication means here you can see that this is a single line which is a serial line. There is a 8-bit data and only 1 bit is entering the receiving side or receiver at the during an instance. Okay. So only 1 bit is getting transferred every time. So this is a serial communication or a serial communication interface, and here we are choosing a line which is in which we are sending the MSB for the first, that is MSB is sent first, then the next bit. Likewise, still LSB will be sending bit by bit. Serial communication or communication interface is relatively simpler, but the data rate will be lesser. Okay, so that is the difference between serial and parallel communication. Now here we are going to discuss about UART, which is a serial communication device. Okay, so UART means Universal Asynchronous Transmitter Receiver. So it has both purpose, means it can be used for transmitting and receiving data. And if you examine the pin structure of a UART, there is receiving pin, transmitting pin and ground. Here also there is receiving pin, transmitting pin and ground. So clearly you can see that with the help of a UART, you can have a full duplex communication. Full duplex means the transmitting and the receiving side both can send at the same time. Okay, so that is one advantage of going for a UART, and relatively this is simpler. Okay, simpler structure. So what is happening here is this device will, we know that UART is a serial communication device, right? So it is going to send only 1 bit at a time. Now we are going to use this UART along with the processors and other devices, which will be giving the data in a parallel form, right? So the first thing the UART has to do is it has to convert the parallel data into serial form. Only then it can transmit. And in the receiver side also, it is going to convert the serial data again to parallel and then give back to the other processors. Okay, so the processors will be sending the data to the UART in a parallel form, but it has to convert the data bit by bit or serial in a serial format for transmission, and again it is converting the data back to parallel and then giving back the data to the processors. Okay, so this conversion is actually happening in UART. Next, now why it is called universal asynchronous transmitter receiver transmitter? Universal, it is called as universal because the parameters like speed, that is transferring speed, data speed, everything is configurable. We can change the speed of data transfer, the everything, the speed can be programmable or configurable. Okay, now next letter is A. UART. A stands for asynchronous. Now what is this term called asynchronous? What is the significance of asynchronous? Asynchronous means in digital circuits also we discuss about two type of circuits, right? There is synchronous circuits and then there is asynchronous circuit. In asynchronous circuits, we don't give a clock signal. Without clock, they will have a different way of synchronization, right? So that is called asynchronous circuits. Here also, in UART, you can see that there is no clock signal to synchronize or validate the data transmission and reception. Okay, so that is why it is called asynchronous receiver transmitter. Okay, now in contrast to the synchronous serial communication, the synchronous communication devices, they'll be having clock signals. But in asynchronous devices, there won't be clock signal, and UART is clearly a asynchronous device. Okay. Now, how the synchronization? Now, for sending the data and receiving the data, there should be some form of synchronization mechanism, right? Now, how this synchronization is achieved, we'll be studying while seeing the data frame or the data packet structure. Okay. But clearly it is not using a clock signal, and that's why it is called as asynchronous device. Okay. Next, let us see the data frame or the packet structure for a UART. So this is the packet structure. There is a start bit, and this start bit is a logic 0, and more specifically, if it is said, it is a high to low transition. Okay. And this high to low transition we are going to consider as a start bit. So whenever we are receiving this high to low transition in the incoming data frame or in the incoming data, we are going to sense that this is the start of a packet. Okay. And you can see that in the end of the data frame, there is a stop bit. And this stop bit is a low to high transition. Okay. And this low to high transition is every time when it is receiving, when the receiver is receiving, it is getting an indication that this is the end of the particular frame. Okay. So this is how it is going to differentiate the start and stop at the beginning and end of a data frame. So there should be, so this UART, what is it doing? It is going to send bit by bit continuously, it is going to send, right? And it has to, but the receiver has to differentiate each and every packet. Now this start and stop bit is a mechanism for differentiating various packets. When it is receiving a high to low transition, it is going to understand that this is the beginning of a next packet. And when it is going to receive a low to high transition, it is going to understand that this is the end of that particular packet. Okay. And in between, it will be sending the data. In between the start and stop bits, it will be sending the data. And also there is an optional parity bit. Now the purpose of keeping this parity bit is to identify some errors. Okay. Now let us see the various fields in detail. So start bit we have already seen, it is 1 to 0 transition. That is a high to low transition. And this transition will be happening, or it is detected at the middle of the time interval t. Okay, in between or the middle of the particular time slot, this transition will happen. Okay. Next, there is 8 data bits on the transmit TXT line, means transmit line, and received on the RXT line during the period of 8t. So every bit will be sent with a time interval t. So totally 8t will be there. Okay. Now, control or error detect bit. So we have seen that there is an optional p bit, which is a parity bit. So the p bit can be used to detect parity error, and p bit can be used to interpret the preceding byte not as data but as address or command or parity. So if we are sending a parity bit, it is to indicate that the preceding bit is actually a address or a command or a parity. Okay, it is not a data. So we can either include this bit or it can discard. It is actually optional. If you want to, if you are sending some special data, consider that we are going to send an address, or consider that we are going to send a parity or a command. So in that case, we want to indicate the receiver side that we are sending this address or we are sending this command. So in order to indicate this thing, we are using this parity bit, and it is actually an optional place. Okay. Next one is stop bit. Stop bit is actually a 0 to 1 transition, and this transition is indicating that this particular packet has come to an end, or this is the end of that particular packet. And in some circuits, now here you can see that there is only 1 bit, but in some circuits there will be 1.5 or 2 bits used as stop bits. Okay. So these are the various fields in the data frame or packet of UART. Okay. Next, let us see the baud rate of UART. So the speed at which the data is transmitted is mentioned as baud rate. Both the transmitting UART and the receiving UART must agree on the baud rate on a successful data transmission. Okay, so if the baud rate is getting selected means both the units, that is a receiver end and the transmitter end, for both the ends, that is for transmitter end also and receiver end also, there will be 2 UARTs, right? And the communication or the data transmission is happening between these 2 UARTs. So in order to have a proper data transmission, both the UARTs must agree on a specific baud rate. Only then the data transmission is successful. Okay. And the various baud rates permitted for UART transmission is 4800 bits per second, 9600. Likewise, it will go on. Okay. So these are the various baud rates permitted for UART. Next one. The last point we are going to discuss is the advantages of going for UART, the disadvantages. Okay. So advantages is that it requires only 2 wires for full duplex transmission. For every end, we are keeping 2 UARTs, and for every UART there is transmission line and reception line. And with the help of these 2 lines, we can have a full duplex transmission. Okay. And also there is no requirement of clock signal or any other timing signal. And in addition to these mechanisms, there is a parity mechanism and in addition to this, there is also an error control mechanism which is used for correcting or indicating of errors. Okay. Then the disadvantage is that the size of the data in the frame is limited and the data transfer speed is limited. That thing also we have discussed in the beginning itself. And the transmitter and the receiver must agree on the rules of transmission, that is baud rate, mainly baud rate. They has to agree, only then proper data transmission is possible. Okay, since there is no other synchronizing mechanism, there is no clock or anything, they have to send at both at the same baud rate. Okay, so these are some disadvantages. Main disadvantage is that there is no synchronizing clock and also there is lesser speed. Okay, data transmission speed is less. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of UART. Okay, so in this video we have actually discussed about the basics of UART. We have discussed about what is serial communication, what is parallel communication, and also we have seen the structure of UART, the data rate, the various baud rates, and advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so this UART is actually a serial communication device. So I'm really hoping that you understood the concepts of UART. If yes, please to give it a thumbs up. Also share it with your friends. And if you want more videos, please to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and keep on watching.